Hello, Writing for Children, class number, I believe it's class number 5. Okay, so here we go. Class 5 is about to begin. So we're moving, as you know, this week to the YA unit, young adult unit, very hot, very big area in the world of writing for children. And I think for most of you, the assignment that will be the most fun for you and probably the easiest for you to do, even though it's our final assignment, you would almost expect that it would get harder during the semester. But because of the nature of the material being closer to you, it should actually, I think this is the one where most of my students in the past have always done the best, unless you get totally lazy and you don't do a good job or think about it. So today, I've already sent you the work for the week. I want you to, let's try to do the cross-pollination on the forum. So you're going to post a memory of when you were 15. Okay, so we've done 5, we've done 10, and now we're doing 15. Try the exercise on your own where you do the 5 senses, and then all I ask is that you post maybe 3 lines. But what would be fun is if we can write back to each other and do the cross-pollination. Oh, that reminds me of something, or perhaps ask the student a question, or perhaps say, hey, what if? Remember the what if, the magic what if. Okay, so once again, we're thinking about memories, and what I thought I would do in today's YouTube is the same thing we would do if we were in class together, and I'd write this on the board. What are the themes? And I would ask you, like, let's make a list together of what are the themes for YA. So the big shift is that everything now goes. Everything is allowed, okay? There's nothing forbidden anymore now that we're at YA. And in fact, we see that a lot of authors are really pushing this. So I'm not in my house again today, but the Melvin Burgess is a British author, and he wrote a very powerful book called Junk. And Junk is about kids in England who are addicted to heroin. And it was a tough book when I read it a number of years ago. But the British authors were amongst the first in the YA field who were really pushing, were really taking difficult, very edgy subjects. So sex, drugs, rock and roll, as they say, no limits. You can use whatever you want, okay? Even swearing is allowed this time, although I think you shouldn't be like swearing every second word, but if it feels right for your characters, go ahead and let them swear. Okay, so let's say you have, and there are some authors, and I have to admit, I'm sort of part of this too, where I like to work with an issue, like I think of a subject and think, okay, that's a subject I want to explore. So just one that popped into my head is the subject of cutting. Okay, it's something that I actually got interested in when I was teaching at Marianopolis because a student, she confided to me that she was a cutter, and I had never heard of it before, and I sent her quickly to a therapist because it's not my thing I couldn't help her with it. But I did get interested in it, and I was worried that she was going to commit suicide. It turns out, because I ended up learning a lot about cutting. First, I did a story for the Gazette about cutting, and then later for the story, interviewed an amazing person, Tracy Alderman, I think her name was, in California. Anyway, I learned a lot about cutting. First, I did a story for the Gazette about it, and then it started to grow in my head. But the way it came to me was thinking about, gee, I really want to write about cutting. That's where it started with the concept more than the character. And again, it's my sense is maybe it's better to start with character. Maybe better writers than me start with character. So that's one other thing that you can think of this week. Start thinking of it. Anyhow, you have time. That assignment won't be due till May 22nd. That's the latest I can give you guys. So you'll have one more story coming from me, and you'll do the same thing where you're going to exchange with a partner, but this time choose your own partner, use the same partner as last time, whatever you like. Okay. So what are some of the themes that we can look at? Well, one of them would be, mental health, if that's of interest to you. School would be an important one. Sexuality would be an important one. Questioning gender, all that stuff, that's like a hot topic. Family remains important. Friends remain important. Influence of peers. So again, we're looking at around age 15. So a lot is sort of like growing into an adult and still, I think, a little bit of wanting to still be a kid and wanting to be an adult. The push and pull. Oh, sorry, I almost dropped my phone there. Okay. So I'm trying to think if there's other things. Well, we talked about things going wrong, right? You could also use particular things, like if you have experience of learning disability, try to like think about how your character could be, you know, some. How do you make a character who stands out, who's interesting? If you like sports, we talked about sports books. If you could also go with something. I think we mentioned it too about. I think I mentioned it last week about exploring part of your nature that either you possess or that you don't possess, something very different to you. You know, if you see, or I don't know, interested in, it's something you've always wanted to learn, I don't know, like I think I use the example of ballet, right? Not good at it, but maybe I want to write about a ballerina. At one point I thought about writing about an opera singer, and I had a student who sang opera. It also helps to do research. We've talked about this from the beginning too. Okay, we're already at 5 minutes, 39 seconds. There goes lesson number 5. Writing for children. Talk to you tomorrow. I'll expect a lesson for 4 days this week. Friday, I take a rest. Okay, take care. Miss you. Think about your stories. Those middle grade chapters made me very happy, and I think your YA, you're going to continue to make me happy. Okay, and in our own weird way, we're having school. Okay, take care.